Today I'm going to talk why no business plan survives the first contact with a customer. Is that means we shouldn't write down business plans anymore? Stay with me. My name is Witold and I'm helping small medium enterprises be more adaptable and responsive to the changing business environment. Let's talk about why there is a little chance that your business plan survives the first contact with a customer. We are in the 9th week of lockdown. Let's see how things are going. In the case of COVID-19, we still have more questions than answers. For example, how quickly does the virus mutate? Is it realistic that we'll have a vaccine in a year or two? Will we face the second wave in autumn? How long does the immunity last? The answers determine the economical options. For example, how quickly the economy can be opened up or when the economy will be frozen again and to what extent due to the spreading the disease will be accelerated. It looks like the restrictions will be loosened soon, which should help business do business. Perversely, abolishment of measurements doesn't have to endure uncertainty in business. I assume that spreading the disease will last, so we can expect imposing and withdrawing restrictions, to control the acceleration of spreading, or we can face the local lockdowns. This scenario is a realistic one. I refer to the example of Wuhan, where on 28th of March, after months of lockdown, residents were told they could leave their homes, only for the decision to be reversed 5 days later. Or Shulan, which has been locked down this week. Imagine, it might be possibility in the near future where Glasgow, Birmingham, York are in lockdown, and if you had a business partner, a client or a supplier in that city, you need to deal with the immediate impact on your business. The coronavirus has changed our world already, and the world will change even further because in the background we have the growing American-Chinese conflict, which at best, in my opinion, will be the beginning of multipolar world, which will affect economic relations. How does the current business situation look in numbers? Nearly 1 in 5 of all UK SMEs might not get the cash they need to survive in the next month. Between 800,000 and 1 million firms might have to close over the next 4 weeks. Globally, research by McKinsey suggests that 45% of business immediately cut back spending. 39% have cancelled or postponed planned investments, a number which is likely to grow as short-term business liquidity becomes the overriding concern. Of course, we all trust that the government will be able to mitigate the worst-case scenario by running support programs, but we need to remember this will be at the expense of public debt, which will have to be repaid by us or our children. Many of us will reach the point of needing to create and then develop the business idea. And many of us will find out that the business environment has changed, that the things that we know don't work the same way. Many of us will reach the point where we will need to put together a new business plan. And this lengthy introduction leads us to today's episode observation. No business plan survives the first contact with a customer. My thesis is as follows. Most of the time in business we spend focusing in a good execution. Once we know what we do, we try to do it better. When we plan it to execute more efficiently what we know. And this is absolutely okay as long as we understand what the right things to do are. But what if we try to do something relatively new, or if the business conditions have rapidly changed? For example, customers' behavioral changed. And we need again to recognize what the correct things to do are. Typical marketing research, which should be a part of any proper business planning process, often takes a long time, generating a significant cost and often capturing data about past successes and past failures, which can be very relevant to the current situation, or data from a different context, which might be very irrelevant to the context of our business. If we focus on planning and implementation, it might very soon turn out that the foundation of our business plan is purely assumptions. We focus on building plans based on our interpretations of a future reality, which was not validated in any way. Running a business based on unverified assumptions is a simple recipe for a trouble. Do you have any own observations about business planning? Write a comment below. No business plan survives the first contact with a customer. It is an observation, but very often painfully real. The chances of you coming out immediately, at the first attempt with an idea for a ready to build business are very, very small, very little. And that is a reason why we need to use more adaptable approaches when we start to build a strategy. Do you think you will need to build something new or adapt your company in some way? Look at how the risk might spread in different situations, where and when you might have to adapt. I think we have a few categories. Let's talk from the low risk to highest risk cases. Low risk: if you have a significant experience in serving to the market which is not changing rapidly, and if you're going to deliver a relatively small adjustment to your current business model. There are still risks, but they can be quite easily mitigated. Medium category, or medium sometimes changing to high risk, when you are delivering an existing solution to a new customer segment, building a new value proposition for an existing market, building a new value proposition for a new customer segment. High risk category, when you're making a pivot, when you're building an alternative business model where more than two building blocks in business model canvas has changed. Oh, by the way, I have a video about business model canvas. If you would like to see it, you can find it on my channel. Especially if the change is irreversible, connected with large investment. If this is true, it's often one-way decision, and this is definitely high risk category. We have one more category, extremely high risk, when we work on a radical innovation which is going to change the paradigm, how we frame what we do, how our customers frame what they do. Where are you on this scale? Are you going to create a new idea and then plan how to deliver your change? Are you going to focus on execution of the plan? Let's discuss it below. Write a comment. If you would like to know more about being more adaptable and responsive into the changing world, below you can find a link to very useful and practical approaches which allow it. Do you like this video? Please thumb up and see you next video. Stay tuned.